Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being present for our annual committee. As you know, we will present the key indicators that we identified in order to improve the way to manage the company. We will produce an analysis of the current situation and an explanation of the choice we have made. Concerning the perimeter of our research, we are focused on production, logistics, and transportation of products. As for it, we are going to show dashboards with an operational aim in order to optimize the production workshop. With those topics, we can ask ourselves on different critical aspects: cost of transportation, production capacity, and also stock issues in the production workshops. We also decided to study the impact of the shop's geographical location on the production and expedition process. The objective of this work is to measure the efficiency between the production and the distribution. We will focus on several points, such as transportation and production capacity. The definition of the frame allows us to define the different key levels of performance. According to us, production and transportation are two aspects that Larnickel could improve and that are measured in cost saving. So we want to focus on two main objectives: production and delivery. To reach those two goals, we will show you different indicators which will respond to our interrogation. I will now let speak my two contributors, Ruellan and Ruault. Do not hesitate to interrupt us if you have any interrogation.
Now we will introduce you our 4 months important indicators. To better understand the production process, we created an indicators that highlight the comparison between available production capacity and capacity used over 12 rolling months. Thanks to this histogram, we can clearly see that the activity of Larnickel is seasonal. Indeed, from September to April, the capacity is almost fully used, but in summer it's not. We can explain that phenomenon with some cultural events such as Christmas and Easter. Indeed, people buy more chocolate and cakes than usual. During these periods, we can wonder if Larnickel has even a lack of capacity to respond to the high demand. This indicator brings us to wonder if it will be profitable to Larnickel to open a new factory or to buy new machines to respond to the demand of certain periods. But in the other end, on an annual view, the company used less than 70% of its total capacity in average. To be more precise, we created another indicator which brings light on the production capacity in hours in March. This second histogram shows the using production workshop time compared to the production capacity available in hours for the different steps of the production: waiting, kneading, assembly, and cooking. We can still see that our capacity is not fully used, as said before. But all of the machines have the same capacity used. Indeed, the waiting and the kneading are required for almost all products sold by Larnickel. However, assembly and cooking are not necessary for all products. Now it is easier to see what step of the production process needs to be improved. For example, it may be necessary to buy a new machine for waiting. We can ask ourselves if it's useful to build an entire new production workshop, or if just buy new machines and specific tasks is sufficient.
Right now, let's talk about inventory management and especially inventory tracking of finished goods over 12 rolling months. With this new indicator, we highlight the evolution of the inventory during the whole past year. We can clearly see, one more time, that the activity of Larnickel is seasonal. But this seasonality is really problematic because we need to build some stocks to respond to the demand. The problem is that Larnickel sells perishable products, such as chocolate, cakes, etc. Therefore, they can't produce the good too much in advance at the risk of altering the quality of the goods. To counter the very high demand in winter, Larnickel builds a huge stock the months before, September, October, for example. This stock had a new problem: the space to stock the goods. To avoid this problem, it may be interesting to open a new factory to raise the production capacity during Christmas break and Easter, for example. Moreover, we can see that in average, the stock of Larnicole is rather low. Now let's talk about millage costs. To understand how it could be possible for Larnicole to optimize its millage costs, we calculated the transportation cost for 100 kg of merchandise in each region. The aim is to determine which locations are strategic to know where to foothold ourselves, with the hypothesis that we increase the number of shops depending on the cost of expedition for each region. As you can see in the graph, we see that increasing the number of shops in the large northwest is the best option regarding the transportation costs, but the number of shops in this region is already important, and increasing again the number of shops in that region will depend on the demand. Moreover, the aim of Larnicole is to extend its sales in the whole France. Thus, it is interesting to focus on the other regions which cost maybe a little more than the large northwest, but which will allow to extend in France in general. We see that transportation costs are very important in foreign countries, in southwest, southeast, and in all north. At the opposite, it costs just a little bit more to expedite in southwest and in central France compared to the transportation costs in the large northwest. It would be wise to extend the number of shops in these two regions to expand the distribution of Larnicole products, focusing only on transportation costs. So, right now, to see if our hypotheses with these indicators are well, we are going to focus on the demand. So, as we can see in this second graph, the demand is very important in the large northwest. There is also a good demand in the north, in central France, and in southwest. This is confirming the analysis about the first graph. Larnicole can increase the number of its shops in the large northwest, in southwest, and in central France. Regarding costs and demand, this is also confirming that it will not be profitable to invest in foreign countries and in southeast. Indeed, the transportation costs are more important in these two regions, whereas the demand is less important than in other regions. These indicators are really very important to know how to locate ourselves regarding demand and costs.
So now I will sum up the important ideas. With the first two indicators, we learned that the activity is seasonal. The production capacity is not fully used during the whole year, and Larnicole missed some capacity during several months, for example December and January. With the third one, we saw that the company made some stock problems during Christmas and Easter. Moreover, it is difficult for Larnicole to have its products in stock because they are perishable and because of the space necessary to the stocks. Finally, the last indicator shows that the transportation costs are more expensive in foreign countries and in southeast of France. Demand is less important in this region. But at the opposite, transportation costs are less expensive in the large northwest, in the southwest, and in the center of France, with a better demand in this region.
Thank you very much for your contribution. As you can see, these indicators will help us to have a long-term vision. They give indications if it is necessary to create a new production workshop, which will allow to reduce the cost and the expedition time. Indeed, the production and expedition capacities are not totally saturated, and we have to wonder if a new production workshop is really necessary. The comparison between expedition cost and fixed charges generated by the creation of a new production workshop is inevitable to make a relevant strategic decision. Increase the actual capacities, including transportation capacities and production capacities, or create a new workshop, depending on the future demand. After our research, we can say that it is not necessary to create a new production workshop. Indeed, our capacities are not saturated, but we advocate to consider a future extension of the current production workshop, and also to consider the purchase of production machine and of a truck if the demand increases steadily. That's all for our recommendations. Thank you all for being present. We hope that our study would have helped you to make your future strategic decisions.